Roger, hello and welcome to Keith's Whisky Vlog. Whisky Tour Guide Keith here of course, and in this video I am going to reveal to you my favourite whisky of the year 2022. Now I've done previous videos, as you'll see on the screen, last year, 2021, Whisky Tour Guide Keith's favourite video of the year, and previous to that, because last year was the first year of this channel, I did a video with the previous 5 years in the single video. If you're interested in either of those, check them out. So in this one we're going to deal with my favourite whisky of 2022. I am not claiming that I am a sort of master nose, master palate, but if you are familiar with me and my whisky tastes, you know that I like Islay single malts. You can tell from the shelf and previous videos of course. So almost certainly it's going to be an Islay whisky. I think it's been Islay whiskies pretty much every year. So my favourite whisky of the year, one or two little criterion that come into it. You can only win once, so if you have won previously you cannot win again. And also I tried to make it a whisky that I have tasted for the first time in that year. So it doesn't have to be a new whisky released that year, just a new whisky to me that I've not tried before. So to qualify, a whisky that I've not tried before and one that's not won previously. Now, if you watched my video last year, I did a head-to-head. I had two whiskies by the end of December that were my favourite whiskies of 2021, and I did a head-to-head tasting. I don't need to do that this year. There is a clear and outright winner. There's a little bit more to it than that of course, but I'll come to that with my little story. So we come to, I don't know, end of October, start of November this year. I was over on Islay, as is my wont, and I hadn't really given it much thought. I thought, oh, I wonder what my whisky of the year is going to be. A couple of months to go, I better start to think about it. Now, I've tried quite a few lovely new whiskies this year, and the one that stuck out the most was one that I tried in Kirkwall in the Orkney Islands, maybe July this year. So I was heading out for dinner. I was walking into town, into Kirkwall, and there was a hotel there, not name it, but it's been getting refurbished. The restaurant was open. I thought, why don't I go in for dinner? Went in, tried dinner, lovely dinner. The waitress couldn't talk up the chef enough. Seemed legit enough. The dinner was perfectly fine. After dinner, I thought I'd pop through to the bar, see what malts they've got. That's what I do. So I went through the bar, all nice and clean and bright and newly refurbished, all good. Looking at the shelves, the whisky shelves, and it was very disappointing. They had maybe 10 or 12 single malts. I couldn't see a single Islay single malt, not a single Islay single malt. Just your standard Glenfiddich, Glenmorangies. And then in the back corner, almost hidden out of sight, I noticed a bottle of this, the Lagavulin 12-year-old special release from 2019. Now Lagavulin, being part of the Diageo portfolio, they have special releases every year, and since 2019 they have released a cask strength 12-year-old. Using the trusty Whisky Tour Guide Keith whisky pointer, you can see up on the shelf here, although they're not necessarily in date order, this is 2019 on the table for you, 2020, 2021, 2022, all cask strength Lagavulins. Now they do other releases, places like Talisker, other Diageo distilleries, but this is the one that was sitting on the shelf. Now I've not paid much attention to them previously. For a 12-year-old, okay, it's a special release, limited edition, but they tend to be about 125, 135 pounds a bottle, which, without thinking too much about it, I felt was a bit overpriced. However, it's the only Islay on the shelf, and I can see it's a special limited release. So I said to the barman, excuse me, how much is that Lagavulin up in the corner there? You can see me sort of looks up, looks at his till, sort of taps on his till a bit, looks up, gets the bottle, looks at the bottle, puts it back, taps on his till, sort of scratching his head, and he says, tell you what, mate, we'll call it a pint of Guinness, £4.50. I was like, oh. So try to stay calm, don't give anything away. Now, I immediately texted the Beaumont Hotel on Islay, the home of Islay single malts. The last time I was there, they had 994 different Islay single malts. So, Charlotte, who works there, Charlotte, how much is the Lagavulin 12 special release? She says it's £13 a dram. I'm now getting it for £4.50. There's about that much left in the bottle, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to drink it all. I can't leave this. But, anyway. So, no problem. Pint of lager, please, sir, and I'll take one of those Lagavulins. So he pours me the Lagavulin. I'm made up. Oh, what a whiskey. Now, I suppose what I should do is taste it for you. Now, here, I do have a bottle, but this is a bottle that is in my collection, as you can see, unopened. So, as luck would have it, I do have a little sample to try, so I don't need to open. I'll tell you the story of how I came by this sample. But as I'm talking about this whiskey, I'll tell you why. It was in the lead, this whiskey of the year. So, strong and powerful, straight away you get the smoke. A wee bit more earthiness rather than the smoke. Quite sweet, quite strong. It is 56.5%, so it's coming in cask strength. Nice sort of label, as you can see, the artwork, something a bit more unique, different from your standard Lagavulin releases. So, lovely whiskey. So I've taken my time with it, I've really enjoyed it. I'm getting it for £4.50 instead of £13 a dram. Finish my pint, finish my whiskey. Excuse me, can I get another pint? And tell you what, sir, I'll take a double. That Lagavulin was quite nice. So, okay. So he pours me a double. So, taking my time, drinking on, getting near the end of it. And I'm deciding what I do to keep going. It's a bit much to have in the one evening, or what I do. And the barman comes up to me. He grabs the bottle off the shelf and he says, how much do you think's in that? So, he says, 2. I said, there's at least 3 in there. And he just pours it into my glass. Finishes the bottle. I'm not going to argue. So I gave him a tenner, thinking he's going to charge me for a double, and he charges me for a single. So I basically paid for 4. I reckon I got at least 6. So there's my wee Lagavulin 12 2019 special release story. That, when I go to Islay for the last time this year, is in the lead as my whiskey of the year. Having paid little attention to them previously, one of my next moves was to go and buy the whole set, as you can see, so I've now got one of each. So I'm on Islay, right, I've got one at home, but I don't want to open it. How will I get one? So I'm in the Lagavulin distillery. I know 1 or 2 of the staff there. I thought, well, they know that I've bought one, they might pour me a little sample, but the staff that I know weren't working. I said, well, I'm not going to push it, I'm not going to chance my arm. Right, I'll be in the Beaumont Hotel tonight. What I'll do, I'll just buy one in the Beaumont Hotel, £13 a dram, but it will do for my whiskey of the year. Excuse me for a second. So strong. A wee bit of sweetness, a bit more your earthiness than your smokiness. Almost sort of more vegetation, moss, that sort of thing. A little bit of your sort of seaweedy, your sort of brine notes. So, I'm into the Beaumont Hotel. Again, if you know me, my favourite whiskey bar. A lot of whiskey bars, over 250 single malts, over 350 single malts, 994 Islay malts in that place. And when I was there, they had, I think, 7 more on order, so they should be through the 1,000 by now. So, Peter, bar manager, Peter Jr., hello if you're watching. I says, right, this is what I'm doing. It's my whisky of the year so far. I've got my little bottle with me, a little sample bottle, just chuck it in there. Obviously happy to pay for it. And that'll do for my video for the end of the year. So, that was the plan. Everything had worked. So I thought. So I'm sitting there. It's my last Isla tour of the year. Quite a quiet night. And as it turns out, it ends up I'm the last person in the bar. So it's just me. I'm there on my own. I've got one of Scotland's greatest barmen to myself. Knowledge, chat, whatever. And I've got all this lovely whiskey. It's my last Isla tour of the year. It's going to be a long winter. Right, let me see your menu, the Whiskey Bible. So, I think what I'll do, I'll go for quite a big one, last whiskey of the year. The latest Octomore that's just been released is Octomore 13, so 13.1, 13.2, 13.3. As I'm deciding this, Peter brings me a little dram through, puts it down. Okay. So, I'm mulling over which Octomore to get, and I have a little nose of this whiskey. It's pretty nice. A little taste, it's really woody. My first guess, totally blind, was some sort of Bunnahabhain. It turned out it was the latest Bruichladdich Black Art, Black Art 10. So this is what happens on Isla. You end up drinking silly whiskies like that. About £35 a dram. And as generous as he was being, and as appreciative as I was, it just wasn't for me. It's too clean, as I say, just a bit too woody, nowhere near smoky enough, nowhere near dirty enough. So I'm like, not too bad, not too bad. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for an Octomore. I'll try the Octomore 13.1. Now I think it was £12 a dram. Peter, ever the salesman, says, oh, why don't you try the 13.2? That's what everyone's going for. That's the one that sold out early. £21 a dram. I said, alright, whatever. Last dram of the year, I'll go for the 13.2. So, if you know anything about Octomore, it's an assault on the senses. It's like, I mean, you've got your ppm, your peat parts per million, and your Isla malts range from between 25 to up to about 65 in your standard ones. The Octomore's well over 100, sometimes over 200 ppm. Excuse me. So, I go for the 13.2. Is Isla a sensation? Is Isla an experience as you're going to get? This will last me for the winter. So, what I'll do, I'm going to read you my tasting notes for it in a minute. I'll give you my tasting notes for the Black Art as well. Now, as I finished the Black Art, I'm taking my time with the Octomore. As I'm doing this, Peter turns up with another little dram. I'm like, alright, favourite hotel, favourite pub, favourite whiskies. I had a little nose of it, and it was absolutely astonishing. Straight away, by a long distance, it was the best nose I'd ever sniffed on any whiskey ever. So I put it straight back down. So I've now got the Octomore, which is like a tire fire, and I've got this unbelievably nice whiskey. So Peter's doing me cleaning glasses, wiping tables, finishing up. I'm sort of slowly getting rid of the Octomore. And Peter comes by and says, have you tried that yet? I said, I've sniffed it, I'm not touching it until I've got rid of the Octomore. I'm not going to destroy that. So I had another little nose, really nice. And he says, it's the OBA. I was like, what's the OBA? I've never heard of an OBA before. Turns out OBA, Octomore BA Black Art. So it's Octomore Black Art. Bruichladdich 2017 release Octomore, 500ml bottles, 50cl bottles, so smaller than your standard bottle. Beautiful colour, it's a sort of orange bottle, really thick orangey colour in the whiskey. And just an absolutely sensational nose. Now, I think it came in at 59.7%. There were 3,000 bottles of it made. So I'm going to tell you the flavour notes. So what I'll do first, I'll give you the Black Art flavour notes, tasting notes, then the Octomore tasting notes, and then I'll give you the OBA. So the Black Art 10.1, lash in the nose, full, rich, powerful, but not dirty enough for me. Tasted blind, first guess was a Bunnahabhain, thick wood. So thereabouts. The Octomore 13.2. Oloroso, lovely on the nose, classic octo attack on the senses, 137.3 ppm, serious bonfire smoke, acrid. It's like if you melted the black glass of the bottle and poured it into a glass. Nice, but too spicy. Eye-wateringly overwhelming. Potential hospital admission due to excess smoke inhalation. Inherits all the smoke that the Black Art lacks. Reverberating aftershocks. So this is where I am, coming into the OBA. Greatest nose ever. So deep, rich, fresh, just indulgence. The nose is so good, I don't want to drink it. Doesn't disappoint in the gob, then gets better. Sharp as, sharpest ever, but alongside serious deep purple flavours. This is whisky royalty. This is an unbelievable dram. I return to the nose and it's improved. This is better than Octomore and better than Black Art by far. So I was maybe getting a little bit excited. It's getting on in the evening. I'm in the Beaumont Hotel. I'm on islets the last tour of the year. I'm drinking sensational whisky, but what a dram it was. Quite clearly, instantly, it's Whisky Keith's Whisky of the Year 2022. And I've just spent £13 on this to drink to tell you about how good it is, and it's been completely overshadowed. So I thought, I'll have this anyway as my Whisky of the Year for the Whisky of the Year video. The reason I don't have my hands on any OBA for you is in the Beaumont Hotel, it is the not insubstantial cost of £79 per dram. And although when it was released the bottle was going for just over £100, £130 I think, retail price, if you're looking at online auctions you're looking at anywhere from £600 to £750 pounds at the moment for a bottle of OBA. It's highly unlikely I'll ever get a bottle. If I do, it's unlikely I'll ever drink it. However, that is my Whisky of the Year for 2022. So, one last sort of footnote to all that. A little spoiler alert if you've not watched my video from last year. My two whiskies, one was a £40 bottle, one was a £199 bottle. And it was the cheaper of the two that won last year. Now in my job, one of the great delights is that if you do a good job and people enjoy themselves, then they can be quite generous afterwards. Little tips here and there, little gifts. Earlier this year, was at the end of an Isla tour. We're back in Edinburgh, we're dropping off the passengers. A couple came up to me with an Ardbeg bag and they said, "Thank you very much, Keith. Here's a wee gift, enjoy." Now I had told them my Whisky of the Year 2021 story, so they knew what it was. And when I opened it, there was a bottle of the £40 whisky, and that's when I realised the mistake that I'd made in my video last year. I'd picked the cheap whisky. I should have picked the £199 bottle. I've not made that mistake this year. Now as you can tell, I'm picking the whisky on merit this year. However, if anyone wants to be generous in future, it's going to cost you about £750. But anyway, a bit cheeky I suppose. Nevertheless, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Check out my previous Whisky of the Year videos, check out all my other videos, why not? Let me know what you think, like and subscribe and all that jazz. If you've been out with me, Happy New Year. I hope that 2024 is very good to you, and hopefully we'll see you again at some point. Slàinte mhath.